Okay, now that you found that you're comfortable with all of your upright orientations, you've got your tail in, you can fly side in pretty well, and then you can fly nose in comfortably without any problems. A good thing to practice just to get comfortable with those is you want to get some pirouettes going. We'll talk a bit more about those later, but get to where you can transition between those and try to keep it in one spot. We'll talk about that a little more, but for now we're going to talk about some forward flight. When you get to where you want to do forward flight, now that you're comfortable in every orientation, basically it's just moving around, but you're going to be seeing some different orientations. Most people will fly out in front of them, so it starts with a bit of a side in. You're going to want to maybe just go to one side. We're not going to make perfect bank turns, so maybe just give it a little bit of rudder to turn around, get it to where you're almost nose in now, and then you can go forward, and then you'll get to a point where you're basically side in. If you start going too fast, pull back, get to where you can slow down. At this point you want to be in control. Same thing, maybe just kind of turn around with the rudder, and you want to keep getting comfortable with that until you can get to where you start getting into some good looking bank turns. So right now we'll talk about, okay, we're going to turn counterclockwise, which is left, flying forward, and upright. So if we're doing that, you see my left stick is going up and to the left right here. That's a bit of an exaggeration right there, but we're showing you that this left stick is going to track up and to the left in forward upright flight. The right stick, we're going to be, if we want to get, you know, nice and parallel to the ground, have to pull the aileron over, and then it's a lot of pulling up. The more you are perpendicular to the ground like this, the more it's just going to be about pulling up when you're sideways. And then there's also a little bit of extra control. You know, once you start rolling in too much, you got to give it a little bit of right aileron. But basically, if you're doing a nice bank turn in this direction, your left stick is going to track up and to the left, and your right stick is going to track, you're going to do a lot more correction down and to the right. So these sticks are going to go in opposite directions. That's an exaggeration. Obviously, you can see how the helicopter is reacting to that. But it's going to be fine inputs of that whole flying around, tracking the left stick up to the left. Right stick is going to spend more time tracking down to the right. See, it's small inputs on the right stick, and sometimes I even have to go a little left aileron to get it more, you know, perpendicular to the ground the way I want it. And then once you are ready to fly in the other direction, clockwise, or flying to the right with the bank turns, the left stick actually starts going up and to the right, and then the right stick is going to spend a lot more time down and to the left. So you can see, I mean, I got to correct it a little bit to get it perpendicular, and then there's a lot of pulling up, but basically these sticks are tracking opposite, up and to the right, down and to the left. So we'll bring this guy in real quick and show you. Okay, so remember, look at the sticks here at the bottom left. When you're going to be going counterclockwise, flying around to the left, you're going to be tracking this, the left stick up and to the left, and the right stick will be doing a lot more correcting down and to the right. It'll be more fine on the right stick than it is on the left stick. At the beginning, it helped me to learn about tracking, but you want to get to where this is natural and you're not thinking about how you're tracking the sticks. Same thing, if you're going right, go up right on the left stick, and then it'll be some down left correction on the right stick. So these directions and these directions are going to be most of forward flight. Once you get to where you can do those comfortably, you want to get to where you can get some sort of figure eights going on, to where you can fly around going one direction and then change which direction you're going. I know these aren't the most beautiful ones. It's a little trickier when you're trying to be cognizant of what you're doing with your sticks. Once your mind kind of doesn't think so much about what you're doing with your sticks, it's going to feel a lot more natural and a lot more smooth. But get to where you can do some figure eights, or you can just do some really nice smooth forward circles right in front of you. See how the sticks are? And then if you can get perfectly sideways, it's more pulling up on the right stick, but you're still going to be going up left or up right, depending on which direction you're going. See? So just see how the sticks are tracking. If you get to where you're in trouble, just stop. Okay? You're upright, you know every orientation now, so you'll stop in an orientation where you're comfortable. If you have to stop nose in or whatever. If you need to break it down to simpler, start maybe kind of flying a box formation, nice and slow, get your side in, then get to where you're flying like that, and then get to where you're flying nose in, and then go back to side in, back to tail in, the other side, nose in, and then make sure that you get to know each direction. So that's forward flight, the basics. Start just kind of tracking the sticks. Like anything else, you're going to crash a lot when you first try it, but get through those first crashes, and each time it's going to be longer and longer until you crash, until you've got it down. So give that a shot and get really comfortable with it. Get to where you can fly around in circles, fly your figure eights, and then we'll get ready to maybe fly backwards a little bit.